What's up, guys? Chris back doing coach interview things. This time I'm doing the first expansion team interview I've done so far. Just kind of happened to happen that way. I was sitting in a chat and I was like, who wants to do interviews? And they fell in the order they fell in. There is no preferential treatment. So yeah, that's how you can tell that I don't like the first expansion team. I hate him the most. I mean, I did come up with his team name and make him the logo, but fuck this guy. It's Adam.
Don't lie. You love me. We did so many trade videos together. Come on.
We did do trade videos together. You guys may remember him from such trade videos as...
The 14-minute long Hitmontop explanation.
Yeah, Adam loves Hitmontop. Adam doesn't have a Hitmontop on his team, though, does he, Adam?
I have the next viable replacement for Hitmontop.
Yeah, that's what you say. But we'll get into that in a minute. So, expansion teams, you guys are special flowers. 3 of you are D-League promotes, which is pretty cool, I guess. It means the D-League was not just for fun.
Yes, it means that we got some experience there. We kind of got our feet wet with how this meta goes.
Yeah, how the matchup thing kind of works, and a little bit of an idea of how to build your team synergetically for that, because it's not the same as building a 6-man team. You're building a 10-man team with interchangeable modules, basically.
Right. I mean, you basically have to cover not only your own weaknesses, but everybody that you see that you're going to be playing. You have to at least semi-think about, what am I going to do for every single one of their Pokemon that they are going to bring?
Yeah, and that's pretty difficult. So that'll be the first thing. You did your D-League season. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the format?
I feel pretty comfortable in the format. I mean, coming in even to the D-League, I felt pretty comfortable. I was a more lower tier player, so having more unique-ish sets is nothing strange to me, which kind of at times can work for the GBA format. But coming into the D-League, I had a good preseason run-in for that, and then I had a pretty good, came in second in my division in the D-League, and then the playoffs are going on, so I feel very comfortable in this kind of format.
Yeah. All right. So you feel like you learned something in your season. Was it worth your time?
Oh yeah.
Was it just an out of the way pit stop to stardom of the GBA?
Oh, with my 6 videos on my channel, I know that I'm going to be blowing up here soon. So
well, hey, you're gonna get that GBA bump maybe. I mean, Adam does videos. You guys can look at the description. There's a link. Sometimes he gets them out at a reasonable pace.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Don't hold me to it.
Nah. But so yeah, D-League season, you guys had like all of the good things ever to pick from. You had a cornucopia of fucking overpowered things to which you could just, build the most OU teams possible.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you guys did.
Yeah, it's very interesting to come in and be the expansion team of the GBA and have to draft things like Drapion on my team, as opposed to having things like Vaporeon and Heatran and Mega Venusaur and all that good stuff. So it'll be a learning and humbling experience to be here in the GBA.
Yeah, in the Nexus video that I just did, which you guys can find on the channel if you missed it, it would have been yesterday's video. I was talking about the conferences, and I was going over them, and I said, yeah, Adam's the new guy. He's got an expansion team, and Nick's like, oh yeah, they kind of got low stuff, and I said, yeah, he's got a Vileplume and an Ursaring. He's all right.
Don't forget Licky.
Well, that's a viable threat. That's gonna be your key to beating Kote's rain team in the finals.
It's only key to beating Kote's rain team.
Power Whip, Cloud9, Licky all day.
Yup.
It just destroys them. It's a threat.
And then also Dan's Sun team that you guys don't know yet. So I'm spoiler alert.
Yeah, God, you're ruining things. Maybe Dan's put out that video on his channel yet. I hope so.
Well,
If not, you just ruined it.
just edit that shit out. That's fine.
No, there's no editing. I don't edit anything. Like Kote and Joe's videos are literally just 20 minutes of them talking about how awesome they are and how everyone else is terrible. Like I'm not editing things. What are
Sounds
you
about right.
talking about? This is for you guys to get to know the real coaches. And Adam is a fuck up.
It's true. I mean, if I could think of one hyphenated word to describe me, it would be fuck up.
Could also be Spider-Man. But, yeah. Not a lot of people remember to put the hyphen in that. So
That's true.
it's okay. All right, so yeah, you guys came into the draft and a little bit of a rough spot because the way they did the draft was returning teams got to go, and then you guys did your own expansion draft with the leftovers, the literal leftovers. You did get the 2 defunct teams Pokemons in reserve to pick from, but that only gave you so many really great things to pick from.
That was probably about 8 really good things for the 40 slot roster of the 4 expansion teams. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so pretty much everybody got like 2 good things, you know,
yep.
if they didn't want to just dip down to somewhere else real quick. But so how you feel about the draft now? It's over. It's done with. You've got your team. You're looking at your team. You're already making trades and making moves.
I
But
did.
as
I
far
started
as
it.
far as the draft goes, how you feel about your draft?
I think the key word for my draft would be interesting. Um, so I started off with the first pick, which was nice. It was
It's a
nice and bad.
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like it's nice that you get the first good pick, but then you don't get another pick for 8 Pokemon.
Yeah, with the fact that there was probably roughly 7 or 8 viable, really good Pokemon that were dropped to us. Only getting really one of those before I had to start dipping down kind of sucks. I was lucky that my 2 top ones that I got were Thunderous Incarnate and Azelf. Both of those were Pokemon that I really wanted. So I think those will be for a lack of offensive threats that were given to us. I think those are 2 ones that I'll probably be able to utilize a lot in the GBA.
Then you did manage to pick up Gastrodon, which fallen from grace, but still a real threat. That's a great pick for a 3rd rounder down there.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of people, like all of the expansion teams for the most part, really grabbing good 3rd round things that weren't on waiver, but just fell to them, and they took advantage of it and got them. Um, so you go through and you got your team. Nah, did you really get sniped any out of like either draft? Really, do you feel like you got sniped a lot by people picking things you were hoping would fall above?
Well, in all 3 drafts, because they had the first one, then there's this.
We'll get to the 3rd draft.
Okay, well,
Just do the second.
we'll wait on those. Okay, my bad. Again, and fuck up. There was a couple of things that, I really prayed and hoped that they would fall down. I was kidding myself that they were going to fall down. Something like Alakazam. I was hoping someone would forget that.
It almost did. It
Yeah,
got close.
it was pretty close. But I was hoping that somebody would forget. I was hoping that things like Scolipede, people would forget that that's a thing.
Yeah.
It would come down, but unfortunately,
It almost did. Last 3.
Yep.
3rd to last pick of the regular draft.
I was really sad because I think it was the Nidokings picked up the last even semi-viable fairy type. And I was like, dang it, there's no fairy.
No, that was actually they got Granbull, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Nexus got Aromatisse, which is capable
Yeah.
of doing some things.
But
But yeah, that's I mean, it's the unfortunate thing about you guys being where you were. There wasn't a ton you had to work with, but
I think I definitely give it a little bit more credit than I did going into it. I thought for sure coming out of the expansion draft that I would come out with, not fully evolved Pokemon just because I would have nothing to choose from. And I think that each expansion team got enough to be competitive. And so I'm not too worried about it yet, especially with the trades going on. But only having two real offensive threats kind of sucks.
All right, so a couple of videos ago, I talked to John, who John had the last mega pick. You got the penultimate mega pick.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that. So here's the deal. I had to listen to you three, like, no, you two. It was just you and John complain about how you had the last and the next to last mega pick, as though there weren't 40 megas, at least 20 of which are viable and good.
So,
But God forbid you have the 15th and 16th pick.
well, okay. So for me,
What a slight to you. Clearly that was the game breaker that will have cost you this season of shame and defeat.
well, being an expansion team, it's really hard to build a viable team that a mega can come in on and just be really useful. For me, I needed to fill a whole bunch of holes with my mega. So
All right. I thought when you got into the D League, you were going to be a Nick. You were going to be the guy that came in here making the cool sets, being the cool guy. But all I'm hearing is a John making excuses for his team. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know what the listeners are hearing, but if you're hearing a John right now, leave a comment.
dang.
I'm hearing a John. I'm hearing, well, I only had one water resist. Well, I only had the 15th mega pick out of, like everything good left still.
You know what? There was some other megas that dropped to some of the other expansion teams that I was really jealous of, and they just didn't happen to make it all the way down to me.
Well, maybe if he had drafted better, you wouldn't have had so many holes, Adam. Just
It's
think
true.
about
It's true.
that. But I mean, you got Mega Aggron. How you feel about that?
I love Mega Aggron. It really actually covered a lot of things that I needed it to.
Yeah.
I had quite a bit of ice weakness going on, and I needed another physical attacker because I have mostly special attackers. So it really fit very well, and I had no steel type.
Yeah, I mean, there were only like 3 steel types left in the pool, and
yeah, it was either Mega Aggron or I'd have to get Doublade. Those were like the two that I had to choose from. So.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it fits really well. We'll see the execution of it, but on paper, it seems to fit pretty well in my team.
So overall, how do you feel about the team you've built?
As it stands right now, post one trade, pre potentially another, I think it stands pretty well. I like everything that I have. I think Ursaring is going to be an underrated threat. I think I'm going to try and make him the new Hariyama. If not,
Wow,
I'll drop him for Hariyama.
Yeah, that's true. We do have the return of free agency.
So I think that was probably the one really really surprise pick that people saw for me pick on the last one that people were like, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work because it's never been used before, but good on you. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, all right. So, yeah, so you're feeling all right about your draft. You're not bad. You did say that you made a trade already. Like in between the draft and the start of the season, you've made a trade, the first official expansion team trade, I think, of this season.
It is.
The adorable baby fetus Reuniclus played in 0 Ducklets matches before being shipped off heartlessly to the Atlanta Hawluchas so that you could get the cool, trendy Fire Ghost Chandelure.
Hey, Chandelure is ballin'.
Chandelure
Plus,
is on.
Chandelure with Mega Aggron works extremely well. So I was really happy with that trade. I already
Yeah,
had an offensive psychic in a Zelf. Obviously, they do two completely different things, Zelf and Reuniclus, but I found myself that I'd probably not think to bring Reuniclus ever when I have a Zelf. So it
right.
was good for me.
So, you're the first person to really actually, embrace that aspect of the format. Like, you're the first expansion team to dig in there and have to trade. In the D League, you guys didn't have to do that. You had
Not at all.
amazeballs teams that, trading would have just hurt you.
Hmm.
How you feel about that aspect? Like, you feeling comfortable about it, or is it its own challenge and things like that?
It, it's his own challenge because trying to think of how you're going to influence somebody else's team as well as especially if you're trading within conference, of trading somebody and thinking about how you are going to counter that Pokemon you are then giving them, it can be really difficult. Again, like you said, the D League, everybody had just OU top tier threats everywhere, so nobody needed nobody had any holes to fill. So we didn't really ever experience that, but here it's tricky. It's definitely tricky.
Yeah. So, all right, it's time to jump into the gauntlet of final questions.
All right.
Who do you most want to play?
I have two people that I most want to play.
I'm not asking for two.
Well, I'm going to do it anyways.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
I respect your assertion.
That would be both Joe and John, and they're both
Okay.
in my conference, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Joe did ask for you by hand. He chose you to be in his conference.
He really just wanted a punching bag, so yeah,
He
that's
did. He
fine.
literally says in his video, which is already up at this point, so I can say it, that he chose you to make you his bitch.
Damn it. No.
Which, I mean, he's got pretty good odds of doing. I don't see,
Oh yeah.
why he can't.
Yeah, I mean, I know what your next question is which team are you not looking forward to?
No, well, you gotta talk about John. Why you want to beat up John?
I mean, John came in second.
So you're looking to tackle the monumental task of dethroning second place.
I never
But
play the
that's
Boston Red Sox, thank you very much. But John has a great team, and he plays the format extremely well. So it'd really be a good barometer of how decent I am at this actual format. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, both Joe and John playing them because they're both extremely good at this format. So
so you're looking to find the big dudes in the yard and knock them the fuck out, is what you're
yeah,
saying to me.
yeah. I
You
mean,
just
if
you
they're
just
gonna try and
want
make me their bitch, I might as well try and make them my bitch. So.
That's a bold statement, sir. And I really hope Joe watches this and listens to it and just goes out of his way to not only destroy you, but embarrass you in the process.
I am sure
Like,
he will. Twice. He will do that twice this season.
yeah, like I want him to run a one move shaman and sweep with it. That's what I want.
No, that's just rude.
All right, so you already know my next question because you like watch videos or something.
Yeah, right? It's crazy.
So that said, fuck you. What do you think of the other conference?
The other conference looks, I'm glad I'm in this conference. No, I'm just kidding. There's a whole bunch of threats.
Yeah, you're glad you got the easy babies like Joe to beat up?
No,
Like,
I
fuck having to play hard teams. You want to beat on the guy with, Blastoise. That's what you're saying?
yeah, totally. Put words in my mouth. That's what I'm saying. Uh, no, is this a serious question right now?
Yeah. What do you think of the other conference?
I'm glad I don't have to play Kote, although I do have Licky Licky to destroy him. Um,
For the playoffs, you got to save the secret weapon.
oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, that. Um, I think it's another chock full of good competitor conference. I mean, we have Miguel and Raj coming up from the D League, and even though they have expansion teams, they both have pretty solid expansion teams. And then you also always have the champion Nick with the Boston Red Sox, so he's
Yeah.
always a freaking threat. And quietly, Mr. Fizz wheeling and dealing, coming up with some
The
crazy.
silver-tongued devil of the GBA. You say the man's name and trades, and things happen.
Quietly with a super team. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
He's running that Musketeer Corps. What are you gonna do? But
No
fair.
knocks ever.
Yeah, no. You can't do it. I mean, I guess you do it to Keldeo, but what if he runs mixed Keldeo that week? He'd do it.
He would be a lord.
He'd do it. He'd do it. We talk about crazy things, Fizz and I. All right. So, what do you think about your own conference? You're all right with everything?
I am. I think it's again just freaking full of people. I think we said that we're doing an 8-team playoff. So
I
looking,
don't know what's been decided.
that's true. Well, doing some sort of playoff.
Yeah, there's playoffs, people.
There's some sort of postseason. I think that there are too many good teams that could really potentially make it to the playoff, or postseason of some maybe bowl games. I don't really know what the hell we're doing, but it's chocked full of just really good teams. You have Steve's team with the pretty much hyper offense and then bulky walls. Like he has
And
three bulky walls.
Cresselia.
Yeah,
Then Cresselia.
yeah, it's like bulky offense, then Mandibus and Cresselia. Uh, then you have the well-rounded of both Tom's and Joe's, and also John's teams. They have the expansion team that I can't talk about because his video hasn't gone up yet. And then Nexus and Cooper are in my division. I have to play them twice, and they both have really good teams. So
Yeah, Cooper is gonna bulk the hell out of you. Like,
well, that's true. I mean, Drapion probably does not stand a chance against Ferrothorn.
yo, 1v1 me, brother. You got that.
Vile, Vile Plume v Ferrothorn. I got this.
Yeah. Yo, Watmelberry. That's what your new mentor Joe would do.
It's true, but I'm not as real as he is. So,
No, you're not. You're a constant disappointment to me in regards to your realness.
I mean,
This is your chance, though. This is really the field where you can get real. Because you have to. Because you have a Vile Plume.
you underestimate Vile Plume.
No, I know. Like, I know what it can do.
It gets Moonblast. You watch out.
I'm just saying, other people picked like Clefable this week. Things. But yeah. All right. So now we'll get to the question you actually expected. Who you want to play at least?
So I'd probably have to say it would have to be Tom because I have to fight against Hitmontop.
That's stupid. I'm ending this. That's the worst thing. All right, this video is over. Go check out Adam's channel in the description. He does good videos when he gets around to doing videos. It's not his main thing. He does them with Tony, and you can actually expect to see more out of Tony. I think Tony is going to help us do the weekly recaps for the GBA season once that gets going. So please go down to the description, check out their channels, and familiarize yourself with these guys because you are going to see them. They are going to be around, and just like me, unfortunately, you got to deal with it. So, thank you, Adam, for coming and doing this, especially because he's sick. So really, like, go give the guy some pity subs because he's sick. Uh, Thanks for showing up, man.
You're welcome. Bye.
And thank you guys for watching the video. Leave comments and likes. Show Adam some love as an expansion team. He is poor and disenfranchised, and oh, it's just the worst. It's a real Oliver Twist situation. So, that being said, if you understood my literary references, I will see you next time.